Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday morning. It's about 9:15 a.m. Cindy and I are sort of taking the day off today. I will say that we survived barely Memorial Day weekend. I want to take a minute real quick and thank all our veterans, thank everybody served in the armed forces, and I hope you had a good, happy Memorial Day. I know we had a lot of activity here at the campground this Memorial Day. Thursday was not too bad. Thursday, we started getting our first campers. I think we had 15 arrivals on Thursday. Thursday night, the rain moved in, and it rained all the way up until about 6:30 yesterday evening. You can tell that it rained. Look at how washed out the roads are. Every time it rains, we have to do just a ton of work on the roads. The guys will start doing that on Wednesday. Luckily, I have a crew here that is very skilled with the tractors, and I don't have to actually get out and physically do any of it. Now, Thursday we worked a regular just 10-hour day. Friday and Saturday we probably worked 16-hour days each, and Sunday we only worked a 10-hour day. We may have Saturday worked more than 16-hour days. I was chasing kids around the playground until almost midnight. Now I'm stopping here at the pool bathroom. I want to tell you, you won't believe what all happens in campgrounds, especially at this campground, which we've worked campgrounds from the East Coast to the West Coast. Excuse me. And yeah, we have a lot of stuff happen at campgrounds across the country. Closest one to what goes on here was we were assistant managers at a campground in Minnesota. A lot of drama at that campground, but we did have some vandalism, people filling toilets up and stuff with sand, but that was the extent of it. I'm gonna tell you some stuff that happened here at this campground. So see right here, Recreational Boulevard. This is the pool bathhouse. We've got the men's side on this side. All the bathrooms are laid out a little bit different. And then over here on this side is the women's restroom. And then you got the pool over there. You can see Jen in the background. She is vacuuming the pool from this weekend's activities. So we had two incidences happen here in the men's bathhouse. So on Saturday night, we had someone come into the men's bathroom here with a dozen eggs and egg the inside of the bathhouse. We didn't know about it until Sunday morning or late Saturday night. Early Sunday morning, I actually had to, I believe the head housekeeper had to come down here after they were off late at night, and we wanted to get the egg. If you've never dealt with egg, once it dries, it is one of the hardest things to get off. He was able to get all 12 eggs cleaned up. Well, that's the first incident that happened here. And then on Sunday night, we got a call about a suspicious item found in the toilet. So we went in and investigated, and someone had put lobster tails, eaten lobster tails, just the skeletons of the tail, and I think there was a claw, I'm not sure, but they filled one whole toilet up with lobster. I don't even know what you call it. Let's just call it lobster waste. So That's what happened in, we'll call this door number 1. Let's move on to the next one. Now we are at the bathhouse across from the store. Store, bathhouse. Women's, men's. So we got a call Saturday evening, late afternoon, early evening, about someone had taken an entire tub of Cool Whip and smeared it on the walls, on the toilet seats, on the door latches, just all the fun places that you can have Cool Whip. And I'm going like, I've heard of egging things, I've heard of filling stuff with sand, I've never heard of lobster tailing a toilet or Cool Whipping a bathroom. But we did catch the suspects, we'll say that as a retired policeman, we'll say suspects, in the Cool Whipping and in the egging. Still working on the lobster tails. But we are in the process of adding cameras at every bathhouse, at the pool, at the rec hall, at the laundry, and at the seasonal lounge. Now, I spent over an hour documenting how the camera system's already paying for itself or worked, but it took me about 8 months worth of emails and conversations to get the approval for the money spent. So let me show you what we got going on. So we have this camera right here on the porch. Now that camera has been there forever. It watches the entrance here. But then if you can see right to the left of that square under the eave, you'll see another white camera. And then if you see right there, that is I call it a transmission box. I don't really know the real name. My maintenance manager did all the research, and we've been doing the installation. So that goes over to the bathhouse. We had it up this weekend, and it allows us to take the signal from the cameras over there, teleport it like some Star Trek crap to here, and it goes down the wire and into the recorder. So I was working a register Saturday afternoon at around 2:30 or 3, and I saw these 3 teenage kids, and they were carrying a big tub of Cool Whip. Now they came in and bought $15 or $20 worth of sodas and candy and stuff, and I didn't think we sold Cool Whip. They walked out without presenting the Cool Whip at the register. So I asked our one of our cashiers or front desk people, I said, "We don't sell Cool Whip, do we?" And she goes, "No." I said, "Okay." I just wanted to make sure because those kids had a big tub of Cool Whip. That's a strange thing for teenagers to be walking around. So then later that day, we saw that the bathroom had been Cool Whipped. Well, the camera out here on the bottom that I showed you first, this one of the original cameras we had at the campground. It shows, again, the entranceway, but it also shows the deck right here. The kids come and they stand right here, right in front of the camera, and they open the Cool Whip and they start taking their dirty fingers into the Cool Whip and eating the Cool Whip. And then the upstairs camera sees them run across the parking lot, and one of them goes in the bathroom, while the other 2 stand guard outside. And then they come out, they're like high-fiving and laughing and that kind of stuff, and then they walk off. So we looked at the videos and asked some of our staff and our lady that does the rec, and they were recognized as some teenagers that belong to two of our seasonal families. So Cindy and I went and spoke with the parents. We took screenshots of the video showing the kids, and the kids admitted to not only doing the Cool Whip, but also the egging of the men's bathroom. So we had already cleaned all that up. And so the parents volunteered to have the kids do some trash removal around the campground, and we let them do some micro trash. Now on to the next vandalism that occurred here at the campground this weekend. On the way to our next vandalism, I saw Jen out here. Jen does a beautiful job of keeping the pool open and clean. Also, if it ever has to get closed, I want everybody to know that's the person that caused it. But she's vacuuming the bottom. We've got all these lovely pine trees here in the pine barrens, and they drop their pollen spores this time of year, and it causes lots of fun for the staff to be able to keep the pool open and clean. Jen does a beautiful job. Now on to our next story of vandalism from the weekend. Train station got completely painted, and we cleaned the train sign. Very nice. So here's the playground. We're going to the playground, which is the scene of the next vandalism. The guys have already been working on it, so I think it's going to be more of me just telling you what happened and kind of showing you the end results. So as you can see, the bounce pillow is not inflated. Well, they have not gotten it fixed yet, so I can show you. So here's the switch, and we have a lock on it, and there used to be a switch that comes across here and goes up and down, and the lock keeps the switch from being able to go in the up position. Now they have taken the other part of the switch that was dangling from the lock, but I assume kids, actually, they were able to pry the switch out of that hole and then stuck something in there to rotate the bounce pillow on the on position. So we turned this off at dusk, and for insurance regulations, and then the bounce pillow goes from the inflated position to the deflated position. And so they were able to, I was out here chasing them around until 11:30 at night, and at that point this had not been broken into and messed with. So 12 o'clock, 12:30, Cindy and I were exhausted. Cindy's still in bed when I left to come run through the what had happened part of this weekend. So, and you know, you can't even make these stories up. You know, I could end up writing a book about all the happenings that happen in campgrounds. Speaking of that, I want to thank the 5 people last week that bought Cindy and I's cookbook. We've had better success with our cookbook than I thought. Link is going to be posted or pinned in the comments section and in the description of this video, but I want to take a second and thank y'all for buying a book. I wasn't planned to segue into that, but there it is. So this vandalism happened after midnight, and then we came in yesterday morning, so it had to happen it all runs together. It either happened Saturday night or Sunday night. I don't even remember anymore. So much happened this weekend. But anyway, the bounce pillow is, we've got to get a new switch ordered and rewire it. But then my kids must have been out until, Lord, I don't even know what time this could have happened. But it was a group of kids from 11 to maybe 14 that I was chasing all over the campground. I never caught up with them. They eventually, I determined, went to bed, or so I thought. But here's my question. So it was about 8 or 9 kids in that age group that were riding around their bicycles. I was trying to get them to, they're not supposed to have their bikes out without headlights. They're supposed to be on their sites with their parents by 10 o'clock. This is all in the rules that we give the parents when they check in. But, and we've camped all our life. We had a pop-up. We camped with 9 people, our 6 children, Cindy and I, and my mother-in-law. For 14 years, year-round. I got a long weekend once a month at the police department, and we would go within 200 miles of our house and go to state parks. And we did that for 14 years with my mother-in-law. We knew where our kids were. We watched our kids. It's the damnedest thing here. Kids just run rampant. The parents are doing whatever the parents are doing, and there's a lot of kids here that are unsupervised. I believe that these kids here, unlike the vandalism kids with the bathrooms, these kids here, I believe, were weekender kids, because I've never seen any of them before. And but yeah, I just, parents, do better. Keep an eye on your kids. We got a whole generation of kids that are unsupervised. I was a latchkey kid. My mother, was a single mother. And actually I lived with my grandparents most of the time. But my mother was a single mother, and I stayed when I wasn't with my grandparents. I stayed with Mary and Don Sheely a lot. May and Big O Don is what I used to call them. And then because my mom worked all the time. It's expensive raising a child on your own. And it literally, I hate to quote Hillary Clinton, but it literally takes a village. And but I was always supervised. Either May and Big O Don, I went to the lake with them every weekend, or I was with my grandparents, or I was with my mother, or I was with Linda Sullivan. But I was with somebody. I wasn't running around at 1 o'clock in the morning like a wild banshee destroying campgrounds. So that's the highlights of what occurred over the weekend. And don't get me, we had a lot of cancellations. The weather was terrible. It was cold and wet. It rained the entire weekend, and we went from Wednesday being in the 90s to being in the 50s and 60s. I'm talking about the highs this weekend. So on a side note, just so y'all can see my crazy, the government's cloud seeding program seems to be working with screwing up our weather. So, thanks for that. One good thing that occurred from the rain, and I'm going to show you, is the river's coming up, and we did do kayaking trips this weekend, and people kayaked in the rain. They figured they were going to flip out the boat anyway. Let me show you the river. You can see it's really starting to come back up. This is my favorite part of the campground. Whenever I am upset or pissed off, is I will come down here and just enjoy the river. It's my happy place. So I'm gonna go see if Cindy's up. I'm gonna fix her some breakfast, hopefully, if she wants some, and I'm going to make her a couple cups of coffee, and then we're taking the rest of the day off. So we have a day off, sort of. I think I already said that. We've got to go into Hamilton and pick up supplies for maintenance. and do some shopping for the campground. And then other than that, we're off today. So I was sitting here thinking about what I said. So the lobster, I'm not sure if I said it happened in the men's room or the girls' room. Not that it matters, but shows that women can be just as nasty as men, or little girls can be just as nasty as little boys. But the lobster situation happened at the pool on the women's side. I think I said it happened on the men's side, but it didn't. It happened on the women's side. So we had two men's side vandalisms, a female side vandalism, and the bounce pillow vandalism. And that's just the highlights. We had so much other stuff happen. But we survived. Oh, let me show you real quick a project we're getting ready to start doing while I am right here. So this is Godfrey Bridge. This is Godfrey Bridge Road right here. And on band nights, we have people go across the bridge and park in the state park. And then they will walk back over the bridge and they will sneak into the park right here. And what I was going to do is I was going to put a fence up to the road there where they would at least just have to jump the bridge and then jump down this 5-foot or 4-foot drop. But the state won't let me do it because we would be on the easement. So I talked with Tom when he was here last week. He is the owner of Ivy Group, which is who manages this park and who I work for. He did give me the $1,200, approval for $1,200 to go from that fence there. You can see where we've been kind of figuring out where we're going to run it, down to this fence got washed out in a flood years ago. We're going to have to kind of snake it through some of the trees that matured and stuff, but you can see where, here, you can see where the old fence used to come. So this is not a new solution or a new problem. This has been happening for a while. Now the one thing that, and I think we're going to really come straight through there down to the edge of the river here at Godfrey Bridge. But one thing I'm going to do different is we have a lot of our guests that like to go down on the other side of that bridge is a swimming hole, and they'll put in and they'll tube down, which we don't encourage tubing. We've been told by the state park police that tubing is illegal on Godfrey Bridge Road. So all the tubes we sell in the store, are for our pool. I do realize most of them end up in the river for floating, because I would much rather float than kayak or canoe myself. So if we block this off, they are no longer going to have access to that. And so for an extra $200, I can put a gate. I think we're going to put it like right here between this tree and this little stretch right here where people can come, go through the gate and go back out. And then so on band nights and in the evenings, we can lock that gate, and that will deter people from coming into the campground without paying, and therefore have more room at the band for our guests instead of having to compete for choice locations where the at the band site at the stage, so our guests won't have to compete with non-payers for the choice locations. Now that's going to be a hard project, because with all those trees, there's going to be a lot of roots. So I think we're going to get a slammer or something to slam the poles in. I'm going to have to rent something. I think Home Depot rents a pole slammer, an automatic pole slammer, or electrical powered pole slammer. So I have to bring a generator down and all that stuff. But I think that would be a good project to add a little more security to the campground, keep unwanted people from the state park out, and provide a better environment for our guests. That's the hopes anyway. I'm gonna go see if Cindy's up now, and we can get started on our sort of day off. Real quick. See the birds in my neighbor's birdhouse right there? Look who has a fascination with the birds. Franklin does. He has a great view. He will sit there for hours and watch the birds. So Cindy and I are headed into Hamilton. I think we're going to go by the post office, may do a little thrifting. We're going to go to Brothers Pizza. Is that the name of the place?
I think that's the name of it.
We're going to go to Brothers Pizza, which is one of our employees. We met them for dinner last year there. So we're trying to eat only one meal a day. I'm continuing to get chunkier because I snack at night. I've got to start taking my health and my weight serious. So that's a discussion for another day. Well, so we're trying to eat one meal a day, and if we eat early, it has time to work its way out of our body, right?
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to thank, Cindy sold 2 of her bracelets that she listed this week. You're wearing a bracelet now that you made, aren't you?
No, this is actually one that your aunt's made.
Oh. And so I put another one up today, and I'm gonna put another one up tomorrow. The second one I was gonna list today isn't made of hemp, it's made of something else, and Cindy was doing deposits and stuff at the store, and I didn't know what to call it, and I didn't want to bother her, so I'll list that one tomorrow, but that'll give 4 sets.
Catching up on wonderful paperwork from the weekend.
Yep. So that'll give us 4 listed on eBay. I want to thank the 2 people. I think they were both viewers. I know I recognized one of the names, but I did not really recognize the other one. One was from Colorado. I think the one that I didn't recognize. But thank y'all so much for supporting us. We do have our patches listed there too. Not our patches. Our stickers. Thank you. And I'll put all that in the pinned comment.
It's been a long weekend. We
it has
still not recovered yet.
No. And Cindy's worked it out, I think, where we're going to be able to take all day tomorrow. We're not going to have to come in unless there's an emergency, unless there's more lobsters in the toilet. We're not going to have to. I told them we could write a book. And we might need to write a book.
Oh my goodness, you can't make this stuff up.
Nope, you can't make this stuff up. I said a similar word. It wasn't stuff, but
oh my God.
So we're going into Hamilton. We do have to pick up some stuff from Walmart and from Tractor Supply for the campground. So that's why we decided to take tomorrow off, because it is noon now. We've both been working Cindy worked about 2 hours. I've worked about 2 hours. And and then we're going to do stuff in Hamilton. And the only reason we're going to Hamilton is because we have to do campground stuff. If not, we would go on a real adventure. So we may actually do a real adventure tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, we'll pick you back up probably at Brothers Pizza. So we're headed into Brothers Pizza, and we're going to try their pizza. We had it last year. It was pretty good. I hope they have a salad. I'd like to get a salad too.
I think they do.
So we went from talking about how chunky I'm getting to eating lots of cheese and bread and pizza. It's a narrow little restaurant. Doesn't have a lot going on. Cindy and I took a spot in the corner, out of the way, all to ourselves. And where it's quiet, she said. One of us is eating healthy. I'm starting with a salad. No salad over there on Cindy's plate. So this is a large pepperoni and sausage. That is a lot of pizza. We'll be taking some of that
Yeah,
home.
we always take some home.
Alright, so I'm back at the campground. We ended up going to get lunch. After lunch, we went to Walmart, got some distilled water and regular water for the maintenance team. Distilled water goes in all the batteries for the golf carts. We charge them so much, we top the batteries off monthly. They ran out of distilled water, so I got distilled water. Then we went to Tractor Supply. We had a sewer backup this weekend, so we used a whole 40-pound bag of lime, cleaning that mess up. So I got 2 more bags of lime. Lime's really cheap. 2 bags was $10 for 80 pounds. Not a problem. It's all in the Jeep. And then we were going to go went by the post office and mailed the 2 bracelets that viewers bought that Cindy made out of our eBay store, Backroads Treasures. And then we were going to go just kind of hang out. We were going to go down by the river, and we were going to do a couple other things. And my phone just started blowing up. The pump in the pool house started acting up. And the employee here could not get it to act properly. And then we had some problems with one of the fountains in the pond. And I figured in the 3.5 hours we were gone, we got about 15 phone calls from the campground. So I just gave up and we came back to the campground. When we got here, I don't know, the fountain in the pond's working fine. I'm not sure. It appears the pool pump, after it was backwashed, I'm going to still have somebody come out and look at it. It's 2 weeks in a row. It's given us trouble. But the backwashing seems to fix it. I think that it has sucked up some of the pollen spores from the pine trees. So I'm wondering if we just need to change out the material inside the sand filter. So I don't know, but it's like keeps losing pressure. Yeah, I am a CPO, but I'm not, it's kind of like being a licensed driver in a vehicle. I'm licensed to drive this vehicle. I know what the ignition does and the blinker and the transmission and everything, but I can't fix it when it breaks. And so that's kind of where I am with that old sand filter and pump we have in the pool. So I am going to have to get a professional. I've done what I can do. Our other pool person, Jen, she's done what she can do. Hopefully we can put enough duct tape and baling twine on it to get through this next weekend till we can get somebody to come out and properly give us a price on fixing it and get it approved and then get it repaired. So anyway, we came back to the campground. I just kind of wasn't feeling the day off anymore since we got interrupted so many times. Maybe we'll try again tomorrow. So anyway, thanks for joining us today. Cindy's inside putting away some groceries we bought while we were at Walmart, or stuff that we bought. And until next time, we'll see you then. But I'm telling you, you can't make up this stuff that happens in campgrounds. And it's week in and week out. So see you next week. Thank you all for joining us.